perfect example of how ridiculous this is that Riley Leonard, the kid from Notre Dame who played in the national championship last year, just played the last game for the Colts. He makes $1 million on his NFL deal. So now you're talking about how this isn't professional sports. But the amateur, quote unquote, amateur athletes are getting paid more than the NFL athletes. And it's crazy because now there's another lawsuit going on out in Washington. I'm not fully read up on this yet, so don't hold me to this. But the quarterback at Washington signed a letter of intent for X number of millions of dollars. I think it's like $4 or $5 million, and then he signs it, says I'm going to be in Washington next year, and then decides, I don't want to do that. I'm going to put my name into the transfer portal because the transfer portal is still open. Now, Washington, the school, is suing the 19-year-old kid because he is in breach of contract. But now the lawyers are saying that that's not even real because he's not, quote unquote, an employee. Because they're not treating these kids as employees. They're treating them as student athletes. So in reality, these NIL contracts are toilet paper is more valuable than these NIL contracts because there's no one standing behind them to enforce the rules. So now it's insane.
Well, it's the lawyer.
The whole thing is insane.
Hey guys, do me a favor real quick. Look down. Are you subscribed to the channel? If you are, thank you so much. If you're not, please click subscribe. It helps us so much keep bringing you the conversations that no one else is having. Thanks, guys. Okay, let's get back to the conversation.
Right. I would tell you, anytime you let lawyers run and make deals, lawyers are deal breakers, not deal makers. You understand? It's the businessmen and the engineers that make this country go around. It's lawyers that ruin our country. That would be a prime example. And this whole NIL started because of California lawyers, you know. But what I would say, moving into, since you're mentioning this whole college NIL, I just and how these universities are falling apart. I noticed something, Andrew, sort of by accident. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers right now are having a lot of success, right? And if you look at their rosters, right, the Eagles have two Lehigh Valley products, running back and a wide receiver, right? And then they have a quarterback who's a Christian, right? So they have really good role models, and what they have is this whole, two Penn State kids playing in Philadelphia. You got half the biggest alumni are cheering for them. And then the kids, they're loyal because they know these are Penn State fans, they're Philadelphia fans. They grew up with the Philadelphia Eagles. So they're down there, man. They're doing those kids are playing hard. They're having real good success in Philadelphia with that type of. So we're seeing more spirit in professional football, at least in Philadelphia right now, and in Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh got the Hayward brothers, right? Their father played with me. Craig Hayward was a tailback at the University of Pittsburgh. Their sons, I know Cam. I don't know the other younger one. I just know Cam. But I do know Craig too. Craig Jr. I know he's from another marriage that Craig had. But anyway, you see the success of the Pittsburgh Steelers because you got the Hayward brothers there. Cam is a team leader, and then not only that, you got some Penn State kids playing there and some Pitt kids playing there, and with the Eagles, there's one or two Pitt kids. But my son Alex played with a kid by the name of McCoy, right? McCoy. Deshaun or LaShawn McCoy. Okay, so he was from Harrisburg, went to Pitt, and everyone remembers when the Eagles were real good before this running back that came. He was also a Pennsylvania product, and he went down there and he played with pride and he played over his head, and he always went the extra mile and was a team leader, and that's when the Eagles were good. So I'm seeing a trend. What I'm trying to say to you, I'm seeing a trend in that we see some of this college spirit and this college success that Penn State had and even Pitt had in years past by these players playing from within their state and playing for their pride, right? And then you go to Pittsburgh. Not only that, Terrell Austin is the defensive coordinator at the University of Pittsburgh. for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, and he was a teammate of mine at the University of Pittsburgh. We were on the same team, had a top 5 defense while I was at the University of Pittsburgh. But Terrell is also, and he was a teammate of Craig Hayward. So you're seeing the family in Pittsburgh. There's a family atmosphere. There's a loyalty atmosphere there. They're loyal to the fans. They feel like family. They love Pittsburgh. They love Philadelphia, the kids. And they're playing their hearts out hard, and they're winning. They're winning. It's not, look, it's all about loyalty. It's all about friendships. It's all about commitment. It's all about being all in. And what this money has done, the money has done with these NIL young men, they don't know it. The money's ruining them, like we talked about. What they're doing, you see these tattoos on them. You see, they're gambling. They said it's illegal, but they're gambling. Who knows what, when, and how what they're buying? They're buying all the wrong things. We all know that, but these are kids. They don't have that responsible level that the Eagles and the Steelers would have because they're 3 or 4 more years developed. So really, what the money's doing is ruining these kids. It's not helping them, and that needs to stop. But then moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals with Burrows, right? We've all seen how that team has turned around when he plays, when he's healthy, right? I think this year they won 6 or 7 games and lost every game that he didn't play.
Yeah, he's a player. He's from Ohio.
He's right down the street from Cincinnati, right? Ohio State left him stranded, and he transferred to LSU. Great story. The LSU took him in. Great coach took him in. The LSU fired. And you talk about a program that's a mess. You understand? Let me just quick divert. I'm going to go back to McCaffrey and finish with McCaffrey. But LSU, right? They made a commitment to this guy from Ole Miss, Kiffin, right? His name's Kiffin. So what a mistake! They went from worse with Kelly. They went from bad to worse with this guy. They're paying him more money. They're paying the players more money. When they had a guy like Argeron, they didn't pay him. I think they're paying maybe $700,000 a year to coach, right? But what he had, Andrew, he had my brother George's teammates, the quarterback, coach, and one of the defensive linemen were coaching there that played at LSU.